Zawajinka koinin, mishkode koinin, mong dodem, gize dodem, gnoje kaning dida, maning wanakaning, mage mishkwa jibekang in indonjaba, nigitnendam kibijayin mampi. Today we're here to talk about Asemaa and the challenges and tribulations that people have in trying to quit smoking. For Native people, the rates of smoking and disease from smoking are oftentimes twice as high as any other race, any other people on the face of the earth. And yet, tobacco was the original gift given to us to be used in a certain way, and we seem to be abusing it just as much, if not more, than anyone else. And so it's important that we understand that original prescription to keep us healthy, because we're also dying 2 times as much as anyone else because of our abuse of tobacco. The Creator has told us that all of the medicines we could possibly need in our life to heal whatever ailments might possibly come up are right there in our own environments, in our own backyards. There is a plant where you live, where I live, and where people on the other side of the earth live to heal for whatever reason. Tobacco is one of those 4 sacred medicines that we still maintain because of its widespread use, because of its ability to do so many things. We can use it as a gift when we're going to gather other kinds of plants. We can use it in the form of a contract when we go to speak to an elder and want to ask them for advice on something, or maybe to hear a story, something special that will enrich our lives. Commercial tobaccos today are filled with so many toxins and poisons that it really lost its purity, its original form. And when that original tobacco was passed on to that other culture who turned it into the cigarettes and the cigars and things like that, they kind of misunderstood the fact that this tobacco was to be used according to its original prescription. And when we smoke the tobacco, we are not really inhaling it into our bodies. When we do that, we send our prayers or our thoughts in the tobacco through the smoke itself. And that smoke is sent up into the universe to reach out to those spirits or those beings that we're trying to communicate with.
But when I puff on it, I'm saying a prayer. You know, maybe to the casual observer, you don't see that, but I'll puff on it and recognize our grandfather, the sun, grandmother moon, and keep those thoughts in my head, because that's where we make that connection. Again, that smoke goes up, carries our prayers, and maybe if we're lucky, an eagle will come by and take some of that smoke and take it even higher, quicker. You know, that's what we look for.
When we inhale it, we're taking all those prayers and all those thoughts inside of ourselves, and we're not letting it go out as it should. And therefore, we misuse it when we're smoking it in cigarettes. And in addition to that, we're taking on more than just the tobacco itself. We're taking on all these poisons and ugly things that really make us sick. For the Anishinaabe people, our form of original tobacco comes from different forms of barks or different plants that we see. There was no nicotine in that tobacco itself. In life, the only constant is change. And change can be very scary for people. And in our cultures, not just the Anishinaabe or the native cultures, but in every culture, they've been given the tool to help them predict those changes and predict those cycles in life. Because the whole earth itself is based on cycles and change. We have one season leading into another. We have night and day that's constantly in motion. We have birth and rebirth and death, and all those things are different changes in our life. Even as we grow as human beings, we go through different cycles, and we constantly are moving. So to help us deal with those changes, one tool that we've been given as Anishinaabe people is known as the medicine wheel. Other cultures have the yin and yang. Other cultures yet have what they call the circle of life. But it's all based on similar teachings. And for the Anishinaabe people, the medicine wheel is the teaching tool that we've been given to help us predict the cycles of change, to help us see where we've been and maybe give us some foresight on where we're going to be going, what to expect when we get there. primarily you'll see it broken up into 4 quadrants. We have an eastern direction, a southern direction, a western direction, and northern direction. Many times they're represented by different colors, and every tribe will use a different color based on where their culture is at and maybe how they're using the medicine wheel.
The teaching goes way back in time. And the wheels, there were, people talk about a medicine wheel, but there were different types. And the basic medicine wheel told you certain seasons when they come. And when them seasons come, there's certain parts of it where you plant things. For instance, one part of it is to recognize that relationship. All our relations, that's the 7th direction. And the medicine wheel tells us too that when the strawberry is ripe, it's time to get the birch bark. It's time to get the black ash tree for baskets. And so the medicine wheel gives us a guide in life that we go through.
The medicine wheel can be used to help describe worldly things around us, worldly cycles, but it can also be used on an individual basis. And with this, we can see ourselves as part of a whole, as part of a whole unit, without us standing there, just like the spoke on a tire. If the spoke on a tire was broken, it'd become unbalanced. We wouldn't be able to ride the bike eventually. And it's the same with us. We all have gifts that we have to offer the world. And those gifts make us unique from anyone else. Yet because we all have gifts to offer, we are tied to everyone else in our community. And we rely on those special things that we have to offer to make life whole for all of us. One of the things that we wanted to do with the medicine wheel was really draw out some of those tools, some of those practices, and some of those values to help people in their effort to quit smoking. We use the medicine wheel as an organizing tool, so to speak, to lay out what is available to them and also to kind of prepare them for the cycle ahead, because it is a cycle. It is a cycle of healing that they're going to go to as they release themselves from the grip of abuse of tobacco and smoking and all those triggers that go along with it.
And so the medicine wheel has those teachings that guide us through life and to tell us when to do certain things, to when to understand things are coming. And there's a relationship between that wheel and the sun, the moon, the stars, and the phases of the moon, our grandmother. And if we can look at that wheel, decode it and interpret it, then we have a certain plan or a pattern that we can follow.
Wabanong, the eastern direction, that is the time of new beginnings, of rebirth. We say that springtime, and as part of who we are as people, that's also an emotional time. If we think about infancy, newborn babies, they're just coming into this world and they really feel their way through the world. For the person who is trying to quit smoking, that is a time where they're taking into consideration what they're about to do. They know they want to quit. They know that it's hard. They know that there's a road ahead. It's a new decision, a new pathway that they're going to embark on. So they need to make sure that they keep in mind that they're in a new place, a new beginning, and that there is going to be a road ahead. And just let yourself feel whatever you're feeling at that time.
We can ask for programs and we can look for things, but it's within your own self to find that courage to admit you got a problem. And to admit that your weakness has caused the problem. So your personal strength can alleviate the problem.
The sacred medicine that goes along with the eastern direction, or Wabanong, is Asemaa, tobacco. That medicine is for us to meet or greet other people. We use it as an exchange for gifts. We use it as a form of contract when we ask a favor of somebody, things like that. We use it spiritually to help us communicate with those higher powers or those higher beings or those manitos that have walked before us. So we need to At this time, especially for those trying to quit smoking, we need to take that time to look at tobacco for what it was really intended to be. We're not intended to smoke it in the cigarettes as we do and inhale that smoke and all those poisons that go along with it. Tobacco in its purest form is a healing medicine, and it is possible to abuse those things. Just like when you go to a doctor and you ask for a prescription for some ailment that you're having, the doctor writes out for you and says, you need to take one pill with a meal at this certain time and things like that. Any more than that is going to make you sicker or could potentially kill you. Tobacco is the same thing. We need to go back and understand why tobacco was given to us and the prescription that was offered to us and how to use it. Otherwise, it's going to do exactly what it does do when we smoke it in the cigarettes with all those poisons. It hurts us.
I think we're all of us, we're all a product of our addictions. That's what dictates how we live, what we strive for. But if we can understand that's what it does to us, then we can modify it. And you become healthy, you become stronger in that process. And so looking at Asemaa, for instance, and saying, I'm not going to abuse it. I'm not going to make my ancestors ashamed of my use of it. I'm going to make my community proud that I can be an example, that I don't abuse it. And then my family feels it, and then I feel it.
The next stage following the eastern direction of Wabanang is Jawanang, and that is a time of travel. You know, Jawanang is a high noon. You know, the sun is at its peak, and we're at our busiest time of day. The sacred medicine that we often associate with Jawanang, with the southern direction, is what we call Gishgandak, or cedar. The cedar plant is another good healing plant that was given to us as a form of cleansing. And you can use that right along with, while you're trying to quit smoking, there's teas that you could make using the plant, which really cleanse and will flush out some of those toxins, and you can bathe in it, and it's a real, you could burn it as a kind of an aromatherapy some people might associate it with, and that the burning of the plant is real gentle and has a way of soothing our shattered nerves, and some people would associate it as the women's medicine. It has a real gentle way about it to calm us and bring us back to balance. We move to the southern direction, and that's a time of some growth. It's kind of like the childhood, you know, it's a real physical time. We've maybe started the process of quitting smoking, maybe we've cut back on some of the cigarettes, or maybe some people have tried cold turkey, and they're feeling now, their senses are starting to come back, they have that sense of smell. There's maybe some jitters or some shakes from detox, so to speak, you know, that the poisons that you've accumulated in your body are being flushed out, and your body is fighting with itself to cleanse itself and rid itself of those poisons. And you smell everything, you see everything. It's kind of a different place to be, and it can be scary for some people. This is the time where you take action. Maybe you're looking for tools or things that will help you continue. You know, there's such strong urges to continue smoking. Some people may look at acupuncture as something to help them out. In our cultural ways, we also look at maybe keeping ourselves busy, doing crafts, getting out and walking in the bush, maybe learning firsthand about that tobacco plant, maybe trying to grow the tobacco itself and learn about its cycles to understand how to use it properly again and get reassociated with the spirit of that plant. The western direction, Ningabianang, is the name that we offer to this. Some people might also use the term Apingashamak. This is a time when maybe the sun is setting. Things are starting to settle down a little bit, but it's also a new time of growth and a new time of maturity. No longer are we dependent on others to care for us and dependent on those tools that we pick up along the way to do the work for us. Now we are the parents, we are the adults, and we've accepted responsibility for the decisions that we're making, and we're going to stand by them and uphold them. The sacred plant that we associate with the western direction, with Ningabianang, we know as Mishkodebak, and that is the sage plant. And for many people, this is a very strong smelling plant. It's also a good cleanser. there's a lot of mental stimulation that's going on when find yourself standing in the western direction. You're constantly struggling with the fact that you know what you've accomplished, you know that you've quit to this point, and yet you still have those urges once in a while. And so the sage plant is a very good healing for you at this time, maybe to calm your mind again, similar to the cedar, to the gishkandak, to calm your mind, to settle you down and bring you to a place where you can kind of clean out all that negativity or all those triggers that might be tugging on your shirt sleeve there and trying to draw you back to pick up that cigarette. For the person who's trying to quit smoking, this means a time when no longer are you doing this to prove a point to anybody. Now you realize that you're doing this because it's right, because it feels good. You feel the changes in your body and you know that you're getting healthier. You see the changes in your family and the excitement that they have for what you've accomplished so far, and now you also have that excitement for yourself. But you're also aware that there's still triggers out there, and so you rely on family, this time of the western direction when our family is growing. Maybe as a parent we see that we're having children and our family is growing. At the same time, for the person who's trying to quit smoking, we see that this is a time when we look at support systems around us, maybe others who have quit smoking. Maybe we look at our health professionals for, maybe a few extra tools to tweak us, in times when we know those triggers are near that might cause us to relapse. The northern direction we call a giwade nung. It's the time of going home. It's also a time of rest where we've walked the walk, we've talked the talk, and now it's time to move on and leave that to somebody else. The sacred plant that we associate with giwade nung, with this northern direction, is the sweetgrass. In Anishinaabe, we know that as wingashk. It's the hair of Mother Earth. This is a time where when we take that sweetgrass, we braid it into 3 sections, and you have the mind, the body, and the spirit. And this is where we have total healing and balance. We bring all 3 of these things together, and we're able to look back at the journey that we've made. For those who are going through the smoking cessation, when they make it to this northern direction, we understand that the wisdom that they've gained is almost innate. They understand what triggers them to continue smoking, but they're also aware that relapse is possible. And because of that, and what's really nice about incorporating these Anishinaabe values of the medicine wheel is that we know that the cycle has no beginning and end. And sometimes we need to walk around the wheel a second time. And so even though you've walked all the way to the northern direction, there's still time for you to walk around again. We may have a relapse and have to walk back to the east. Only this time, it's not like we're starting over because you have all the same wisdom that you've gained the first time. Now maybe you need to pick up new tools that you didn't see before. It's a time of elders where we've gained all this wisdom through birth, and we can just sit back and relax and share what we've learned. This might be a time for the person who has quit smoking to kind of share with others who maybe are just starting their path to wanting to quit, or maybe you have children who you've caught smoking or starting to smoke, and you have something that you can offer them as an example, either through what you've done just by example itself, or maybe through the lessons that you can share. Now we talk about the 4 directions, but really it'd be hard to talk about the medicine wheel without talking about that great mystery in the center. And for our purposes in trying to quit smoking, we can almost place ourselves as that great mystery. Where are we going to end up? How many times do we need to go around this wheel? What are we going to learn? What's really going to come out of it? Because everybody has some special gift within them that helps them live a better life. So what special gift will you get in your journey that will bring you to the rest of the community? What do you have to offer your community?
Quitting the use of a nicotine addiction is first, number one. It's important to your health as an individual, but it's important to the health of the people that are around you, because this chemical infested tobacco that you buy spreads all of those chemicals around as you smoke it, so your children are affected. Everybody in the household is affected by it. And it doesn't allow you to have clear thinking. It takes away from your taste buds, destroys your taste buds. It also has the negative effect of looking at someone and saying, oh, it looks like they lack self-control. And so it diminishes you as an individual. And so for me to tell someone to put that addiction away of nicotine is simply to improve your life, improve your mental state, improve the quality of life of those people that are around you. And once you begin thinking that way, it gives you strength. You'll keep away from it.
And that's where we stand at the center of the wheel, and we can see everyone around us. We are now part of the whole. No longer are we walking just along the edges of the wheel. Now we're standing at the center. We're balanced. We've accomplished the tasks and the goals that we set out to do.
It's up to us as individuals to realize how healthy we're going to live, what road we're going to take, how we're going to help others, and how we're going to control ourselves in our daily lives.
We've quit smoking. We're healthier. We're able to concentrate on things like never before because of our accomplishment. And that's where we reach out and we find balance with all of our community and all of the people around us.